Welcome again. My name is Kalambai, Fruitful Investment Strategies. My name is Kalambai, and if this is your first time, please to subscribe. Make sure that you subscribe, you follow this channel, and you share it with many more as possible. Look, the goal here is actually so that we can actually prosper together, we can have a fruitful investment together, and then we can share some successful stories everywhere we might be. So today I'm going to share my experience when it comes to Norway, when it comes to renting and to actually having an Airbnb. I've done some of the Airbnb, but not a lot. But really this time I'm entering into fully Airbnb and then renting out as short time rent out. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'll just share what I've had as experiences, between Airbnb and then and then long time rent out. So these are two different actually models of business that you can do, and these models needs two different approach because you have two different really businesses which are coming in play here. So it all depends on how you're gonna approach them, and that is very important as a businessman or a businesswoman or wherever you might be. So it's really important that you know what you're going to be, if you're going to be going with the long term or if you're going to be going with a short term. So the thing about the long term, the long term contract is that you really don't have to worry, you just have to put your business out there, and then if it's rented and if taken, you have just to actually collect your money every month. So let's say you have a good contract and every month they have to pay you for that contract. So if you have a good tenant, that business works. It's a good business model that will work actually, every month you have to collect your money. But that is really because you have kind of an assurance, you have everything settled, and what you have just to do is to check your bank account every month, every now and then, to see if actually the money has entered in and the bank is assured, because you have a contract there which works. So that is not a problem, and that is very good. So that is the only thing. But the disadvantages with this long-term contract, the disadvantage, because that is the advantage that I see, but also the advantage, maybe let me take more advantages. The advantages is that as well, you get to know the people who are actually coming here in your rent apartment. You get to know them better. You get to actually know if you can trust them or not. Well, you never trust in business, but if you can work with them and how you can work with them. So you have kind of a stable person that you can actually rely on, or in terms of businesses, and that you can work with in terms of long terms. So those are the kind of two advantages that I see. And then once you have this person and you know them, you can actually work together in terms of expanding other businesses, if that is possible, if there is that possibility. So you get to work together in terms of maybe cleaning up the area or cleaning up the environment. So those are the kind of things that you get to know, and the advantages that you have as a tenant. The disadvantages, there are many also disadvantages. The disadvantages that with the long term is that you don't get to control actually your apartment as you wish to, because you have the person inside there, and then you have to respect them as well in terms of coming inside and to check in. It really has to take a lot. Either you have to give some excuses, and then those excuses have to be valuable. So you cannot enter into the apartment and check how the apartment is doing. It's really a challenge in that. And you find out that many people who are renting out apartment, they really don't care about how well the apartment is and what actually can be done in terms of correction or in terms of improvement in the house. They don't inform you those kind of things. And it's really difficult for you to go into the details when you have rented out for a long term. So you have to give a reason and say, hey, my apartment has to be remade or redone, so that they can actually move out. But as long as you have a long-term contract, it's very difficult, and things can get destroyed and very, very, very quickly and very fast, and you don't really know how to actually approach them in terms of fixing it. So that is really one of the disadvantages. And if there are people who just sit and smoke in the house or do some other things in the house, and if you're not really informed, that is really a very bad disadvantage, because then you have a very bad tenant who's not able to take care of your apartment, and that's really cost a lot of money to repair. I can say I have had people like that who have come into the house and started smoking, and that cost me a lot of money in terms of reparation of the walls. You have to repair the walls because the smoke is actually, the walls, they absorb that smell, they absorb that smell, and then they start releasing it after time. So that is a very big disadvantage. People do not tend to take the care of the apartment, of the house, or the house as you actually do. So you need actually somebody who, you need to have access to the house, but that is also limited, and in that limited time, you don't really capture everything at that time. The other disadvantage is actually with the long term. The long term is that the long term contract is that if they don't pay you, you have the 3-month deposit. Let's say the pay down. So if you have that 3-month deposit, you might say, okay, maybe they'll pay next month, and next month they might not pay. So you are actually running out of time. And then you have to give them a warning, and the warning, according to the laws and the regulations here, is actually you have to give them 14 days. In 14 days, they can be reassuring you because you have got used and known to the person. And then if you didn't give them the notice of 14 days, then you are running out into a month or 2 months, and that becomes really a challenge. So you have to actually confront things with time and very fast. And that is one really disadvantage. And if they don't pay you, then you have to really kick them out of the house and give them a warning that they have to go. And then if they go, you have just lost 1 month actually without payment. And that is that is very important to be careful about, because I have lost up to 3 months of no payment because the people were actually entering into business and doing business with. These are the companies. So you maybe tend to trust a company more than individuals, but they are just as destructive as individuals. I've had individuals who actually could not pay. I've had individuals who actually did the same thing. So it doesn't matter either it's an individual or a business, it goes for the same. So my best thing is you have to really look for loopholes and look for what are the things that people do that can actually make you lose money, and to be on the upfront directly and very fast. Once you actually have missed somebody and they have not paid, you have to send out a warning 1 day after they have not paid. You have to send out a warning in 2 weeks or before 2 weeks. You have to send out a warning to say that you are going to evict them, an eviction warning. And an eviction warning, if they do not heed to that eviction warning in 2 weeks, after 2 weeks, then you have to actually get them after 3 weeks, get them out as fast as possible. That's how it works. It's business, it's harsh, but that is business, because one thing is, you are not actually, the money that you are having, you have to pay to the bank. The bank does not wait. The bank wants its money. You have to pay the bank money. And if you do not pay the bank money, you have to pay it with interest. So interest, it becomes much more expensive, and the bank wants to trust you. You want to gain trust with the banks, and that is where the challenges comes in, because the bank wants actually to trust you to give you loan. They could not give me some loan because I had some payment which was late payment. So if you're paying late and you're not paying actually at the appointed time, you're losing some points with the banks. So the banks want you to pay on time, and the banks want you to do it when you have agreed to do it. So they do not care if your the people who are renting out are not doing their work or their homework, but you have to do that thing. So that is actually one thing with the long-term contract. With the short-term contract, what the disadvantage with Airbnb or a short-term contract is that you are not guaranteed. There is nothing guaranteed. And you get people inside when that time comes in. So you can actually sometimes I'm not saying that it happens, but it has happened to some people where you actually put a house and a month goes in and there is no actually income in. So when there is no income, you have to remove from your pocket and to give it to the banks. So that is what happens with a short-term contract, is that there is no guarantee anywhere. You have to actually make sure that the Lord allows you to actually get that business going on and to have some more customers. And that is actually one of the disadvantages. The other disadvantage is that you have to employ other people to actually do the cleaning, to do the taking care of the apartment that you're living in, or to do all these times of work, to actually follow up the work that you're doing. So you have those kind of challenges. You have to clean the apartment as soon as the person goes out or the people goes out. You have to clean, you have to go in and to take care of everything on your own. So that's one thing with a short-term contract. But the best thing, the positive thing, is that you have full control of everything that is in the apartment. When the person comes in and when the person leaves, you have full control of what has happened, what is going on. You can follow up things very quick and very fast. And the other thing is that it's actually, you have much more income. You gain much more when it comes to the short-term contract. You gain much more because there is it's a high price. It's really it pays well when actually business is functioning and when that season is actually there. It pays well. But if the season is not there, it doesn't really pay. But you can gain much more, even double than what you gain with actually the long-term contract. So those are the kind of advantages. You have much more control. You can actually check things very fast, and then you can actually handle things in a very fast way. So it all depends on actually what you want to do. And these are the two kind of contract that are there in terms of renting, short rental or long-term rental. And we'll say I think it depends on where you are as well. But people today are traveling almost everywhere. When it comes to Europe, when it comes to Africa, everywhere. People are traveling everywhere. People want to spend their money. People want to have a good life. People want to spend good activities. So those kind of things, you shouldn't worry. I think you should actually choose what's benefits you the most. If you have much more time, the short rental is actually the best way to go by. So if you have less time, I think the long-term contract is actually the best way to go by. So if you have an apartment, let's say it's very far from where you are living in, and then you have to drive all the way there to fix the things up, then the long-term contract is the best way to go about. But if you have an apartment which is actually close to you and near to you, and then you can do all those things by your own, then the short-term contract is actually the best way to go by. So this is what it's all about. It's all about really keeping the best contract on the ground and making sure that actually you follow everything. Because the thing is, if you do not follow, with the short-term contract, it's very important to actually have quality. Quality is a very important issue. If you do not have quality, then people will be actually giving the bad feedback, on your businesses. And you don't want bad feedback. You want really to keep up with the feedback. You want to keep up with the comments. You want to keep up with the stars, people when they're evaluating. You want to keep up with that. That is very important for the short-term contract. But for the long-term contract, you don't have to care about that. They come in, when the contract is finished, they go out, and then they don't have to give you their feedback. You don't care about their feedback anyway, because you are actually going to look for another person to come in, and everything will be going well. But as for here, there is no rating for the clients. So I think it will be really good to have clients who are rated up, as it is on Airbnb for the long-term contract. Norway does not have those kind of system. I've heard in Canada there is. So if you've heard about that, please let me know in the comments. So the thing is, in Norway we don't have that kind of system where you can rent the renters. But in Canada I heard there is that system. So with the short rent contract, you have it on Airbnb. You can rent you can rate actually those people who are coming in and booking this kind of apartment. So that being said, if you're actually willing to, or you are looking forward to actually follow this business model, let it be short term or long term, so please, I hope this video can help you and assist you in terms of what you're looking for. And if you've not subscribed, please make sure that you subscribe on this channel and like and share. Click on the share button, and see you on the next one.